Do-Rag Wisdom here in the third month of the Trump-Putin birthers invasion. Today I'm going to try to show you some clips so that at least you could hear some other voices besides mine, because what do you want to see an angry, screaming old man all the time for? I want these broadcasts to be watched and be taken seriously, and I don't want any advertising before it. And what I want is to save my country, save our country from this this dictator creep and from the invasion that Putin wrought upon us. So what you're about to see now, hopefully, are some clips. Now the first clip I want to introduce you to, if you haven't seen this person, Paul Ryan. I call him Eddie Munster. That's because my friend Avi calls him that, because if you look at Paul Ryan, he's got that Eddie Munster look, and I don't mean to insult Eddie Munster, because I loved Eddie Munster, the character. But here's the Paul Ryan, who follows the philosophy of Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand. Ayn Rand. A-Y-N-R-A-N-D. Check it out. He follows that philosophy. He claims to be a religious fundamentalist Catholic, but because of his following, because he follows Rand, he had a group of nuns after him. And I have to get the names of those nuns, because we need to see more. Even though I'm an atheist and I just disdain religion, you know, there are a lot of good religious people out there. You know, people who happen to be good people, happen to be religious, and these nuns, they went on a bus trip all over America. So the first one is, you're going to see what kind of mieskite this Paul Ryan is, who wants to take away health care from millions of people. He wants to kill hundreds and thousands of people. I want you to see him. He's having a hard time getting his creepy health care plan through, the Trump care plan. Check this clip out. And it was on the Rachel Maddow show.
You haven't heard much, have you, about Democrats planning on voting with the Republicans to repeal Obamacare, right? That's because there aren't any Democrats planning on voting with Republicans on this. None. Republicans didn't even try to get Democrats to vote with them on this. They were sure they could do it all on their own. After all, they do have a big Republican majority in the House, right? This is their big idea. Well, as of right now, Republicans haven't taken the vote they said they would take on this tonight. They pulled it. They instead say they plan to vote on it tomorrow, whether they have the votes or not. Here was Paul Ryan just a few minutes ago.
Hi, everybody. For 7.5 years, we have been promising the American people that we will repeal and replace this broken law because it's collapsing and it's failing families. And tomorrow we're proceeding.
You have to vote? That's the press conference equivalent of tweeting. He's like, I've only got 140 characters here. I'm out. You can hear reporters at the end, they're shouting, do you have the votes? Do you have the votes? You know, passing legislation unilaterally through a chamber you control shouldn't be that hard.
My second clip is the real populist, Bernie Sanders. Now, I'm not a sycophant with Bernie Sanders. I don't agree with everything that Bernie Sanders says. But like him, I'm a democratic socialist, or what you call a socio-capitalist. I do agree with 95% of everything this guy wants, and he should have been the Democratic candidate, and they really stooked him. So anyways, Rachel Maddow, this is where I got the clips from. The first one and this second one with Bernie Sanders. That this health care bill is their first assault, their first cannon fire, their first Tommy gun, their first AK-47 assault on our social programs, right? So what's going to happen is if we allow, or if this is allowed, if the Trump-Putin birther bastard wins this first round and health care passes the House, hopefully it will die in the Senate, but if this comes through, Bernie Sanders says, then there's other things they're going to do worse and worse and worse and worse. So, and he calls it a war.
Our job is to do everything that we can to explain to the American people in Kentucky, in West Virginia, in Arizona, in Nevada, and all of these so-called red states, what a disaster this plan would be to their lives. To explain to them that Donald Trump, and many of them voted for Trump, lied to them when he said he was going to protect the interests of working people. You don't throw 24 million people off of health insurance. You don't tell seniors that their premiums are going to soar. You don't cut Medicaid, which not only will impact low-income people, but it will impact middle-income people whose parents are in nursing homes. You don't cut Medicaid by almost $900 billion. And by the way, in the midst of all of that, give $300 billion in tax breaks to the top 2% and more tax breaks to the drug companies and the insurance companies. So our job right now, and you are seeing this all over the country, some of the clips that you presented indicate this, people are catching on. And they are telling their Republican representatives, do not sell us out. Do not let my mother die because she can't afford health care under your plan. And our job is to accelerate that effort, to get people to stand up and fight back in a way that we have not seen in the modern history of this country. Because, Rachel, if they get away with this, they're going to keep on coming. And it will be Social Security next. It will be the Veterans Administration after that, et cetera, et cetera. This is a war against the working people. And our job is to stand up and tell the billionaire class they're not going to kill thousands of people with a terrible proposal like this.
And the last clip that you're going to see right now comes from one of my favorite movies, It's a Wonderful Life, that people watch traditionally, many on the Christmas season. I try to watch it in July, may even watch it in spring, to remind us that we're all gardeners in our life. And we're either planting seeds of our destruction or planting seeds of our revival, of our revitalization, our rebirth, our harmony, our wisdom. So when you watch this clip from It's a Wonderful Life and you see the great Lionel Barrymore, he's the one who's sitting in the wheelchair. He plays the mean Lionel Barrymore, who's related to Drew Barrymore. You see Lionel Barrymore, he's sitting in his... He plays the mean Henry Potter in this movie. And the little boy is the young George Bailey, and he's defending his father from this greedy, rich, greedy bastard. Okay? His name, Potter's name could be Trump. Okay? But watch what he says, watch this scene. It sets the tone for the rest of this wonderful, great movie. You could get it on Amazon. You could actually buy a very nice copy of the original black and white version. And people should watch this movie all the time, all year round. Because, you know, you have to understand, you have to realize that in the end, in this round, that guy, that bitter old guy, sitting in that wheelchair, who says he doesn't give a shit about anybody else's children, that's who's running our country now.
But I'm not crying, Mr. Potter.
You're begging, that's a whole lot of work.
Well, all I'm asking for is 30 days more. Just a minute, son. Just 30 short days. I'll dig up that 5,000 somehow.
Shut me up, shut me up.
Just
Have
a
you
minute.
put any real pressure on these people of yours to pay those mortgages?
Time's up bad, Mr. Potter. A lot of these people are out of work.
Well, foreclosed.
I can't do that. These families have children.
They're not my children.
But they're somebody's children, Mr. Potter.
Are you running a business or a charity war?
Well, all my...
Not with my money.
Mr. Potter, what makes you such a hard-skulled character? You have no family, no children. You can't begin to spend all the money you've got.
Oh, I suppose I should give it to miserable failures like you and that idiot brother of yours to stand for me.
He's not a failure. You
George,
can't say
George.
that about my father.
George,
You're
George.
not. You're the biggest man in town.
Run along.
Bigger than him.
Run along.
Bigger than everybody.
Hey, you know, idea of the Baileys.
Don't let him say that about you, Pop.
All right, son, all right. Thanks. I'll talk to you tonight.
I hope you enjoyed today's broadcast. I'm trying to do something different because I want to make sure people keep watching so we can get this message out. And I want to make an ad to Indivisible, this organization. Look it up on the internet, Indivisible. This is a protest movement that is organized. People that are advising it know what they're talking about. They have a method that you follow. I know it seems kind of engineered and regimented, but if you want to get into talking to these Congress people, you have to follow this organization's advice. They are an AAA, as Agent Cooper would do from Twin Peaks. That's what I'd give them. And if it wasn't for these people, okay, if it wasn't for these people, we wouldn't be having the Trump Putin wouldn't be having all the problems he's having right now. And believe me, it's us in the street, the grassroots. That's who has to stand up. I mean, the Republican Party's been working so hard to stop us from voting. Voter suppression, gerrymandering, making sure they're in power. Citizens United. And please, folks, we shouldn't help them by not voting. And 50% of the country didn't vote last election. I'm not talking about the people who voted for a third party. Anybody who voted, I respect. Whoever you voted for, I respect you if you voted. But 50% didn't, and they actually helped our enemies.